Now we'll learn how to navigate Sakai and Edpuzzle. First, Sakai. You'll want to go to the Durham Tech website, durhamtech.edu. Navigate to Current Students, then scroll down to Sakai. You can also access it directly at sakai.durhamtech.edu. You'll want to log in with your username and password. And then you will find your most recent course in the bar up here. Now, if you can't find it, what you'll want to do is go over here to Sites, find the course you want, close, reload, and you'll see it here. Now, if you still can't see it, email me and let me know. But when you do so, let me know what account you're using to access the Sakai site. Every so often, a student will have multiple usernames associated with Durham Tech, and they might be trying to use a different username than the one that is enrolled in the course. So just let me know, and I found that it's helpful because it can help us diagnose the problem more quickly. You'll also want to check out the Sakai Student Help. If you click here, it has lots of great information on navigating Sakai, such as how you log in and reset your password and find your courses, which I just told you, as well as videos on how to attend online meetings, posts and forum, taking tests and quizzes, submit papers or stories and other assignments. And it has lots of great information. So if you ever get stuck, feel free to go over to Sakai Help for Students. You'll also see your calendar right here, where everything that has a color is a due date. So if you click here, you'll notice that what's due is an AP Style Quiz number 1 in this particular course. Now, all of your course assignments will show up here, not just this one. So let's navigate to our course site in Sakai. First, you'll have the overview with the site information display, which is a nice little graphic as well as my name and email. I will do my very, very best to check my email at least once a day. Now that might mean I check it at 7 a.m. on a Monday and then 7 p.m. on a Friday. Sorry, 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So it might take up to 48 hours to get a response. If there's ever a time where I will not be available by email for an extended period of time, I will send you an announcement and let you know. Speaking of announcements, those are viewable here, where if there's any announcement about the course, about assignments, or just general Durham Tech news, they'll show up here. The most recent announcements will show up, those that are here for the last 10 days. And otherwise, you can view them elsewhere, which I'll show you later. And then here you can also see the calendar, which you could see on the first page as well. If you want to look at announcements that are older than 10 days, you'll click here. Next, we have the course syllabus. This is where you have the syllabus. You'll click on it, and it'll show you information about the course, including the course census date, which is when you have to submit a entry into the Sakai site, as well as the final withdrawal date for the course. It has the course policies, how to submit assignments, the course schedule, college resources that you might need, as well as the course and program learning outcomes. So if you ever have a question, feel free to look in the syllabus to see if it's answered there. Next, we have lessons. This is where you will be spending the majority of your time in Sakai. New lessons are available every Friday at 7 a.m. So only 1 week is available at a time. Well, once week 2 is available, week 1 will stay available. You'll want to click on week 1 and see what's up. Here's how the Sakai sites are. The lessons are organized. First, you'll have a little graphic as well as the subject that'll be covered. Week 1 is class orientation and journalism 101. It'll always tell you the due date when the assignment is due. All assignments are due on Thursdays. Now you'll have a weekly checklist. You don't have to check them off, but it's really helpful to make sure that you've done everything you need to for the week. For example, in this one, you want to read Chapter 1 from our Hicks textbook, create an Edpuzzle account, watch the Edpuzzle videos, and complete the assignment for the week, which is an introduction forum. Once you've done so, click on it and it'll show that it is saved. Next, here is information on our lecture videos. Lecture videos are stored in a program called Edpuzzle. This is done to allow for more interactive elements than just a basic video. You'll need to create a free Edpuzzle account and view your videos there. We'll talk more about Edpuzzle in a bit. Moving down, you'll see each week's video. They are in columns, so they go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 videos, sometimes you'll have 7 or 8 videos. It all depends on what material needs to be covered for the week. Now you'll have the assignment. For this week, it's an introduction forum. It'll explain what the assignment is, and it'll always show the due date in blue to help you draw your attention to it. Now you can click on the forum, click on the assignment, the forum, or the quiz in order to see it. Now you can also click on this to see the forums. First, you have a general discussion and questions forum, where if you have a question, you're welcome to email me with your question. Or if you think other students in the class might have the same question, you can pose it here, or pose questions of your fellow students. Then you'll have the introduction forum, where it's the first week's assignment. You'll tell us about yourself. The information is repeated. And you can also click here to see the first one, which is me. And then also go here to start new conversation to add your 2 cents. Now there will be additional forums throughout the semester, and those will appear when it's time. Now you have assignments. Whenever an assignment is open, you can click on it and see it, which right now we have our student profile open. You'll also have tests and quizzes. There's none open right now. And then you'll see the gradebook. This is where you can keep track of your course grades. You'll have your AP style quizzes, your Sakai homework, story forums, weekly participation that's worth 130 points, which altogether is worth more than one individual story. And then you'll have your writing assignments. Now you'll notice some of them have these little things, which are rubrics. If you click on it, it'll show you how you're going to be graded. We'll talk more about rubrics when we go to the assignments section. But if you want to know what I'm grading on, this is exactly what it is. Next, you have email in case you want to email me, a calendar, a class roster to see everyone who's in the class, as well as resources. If you click here on resources, the main thing that I want to draw your attention to is this. This is a 2006 version of the AP style book. Now it's pretty old, more than a decade, but I found it online for free. So if you can't afford a new AP style book, you can use this. Again, it is not ideal because it's pretty old, but it is available. So if that's the only thing you have, please make sure you save it and download it on your computer. Now we'll go to an assignment and have an overview of it. Here is the student profile. You'll want to click on it here. And it'll give you information about each assignment. its title, when it's due. Now you'll notice that resubmissions are allowed. Now what that actually means is every so often someone will submit an assignment and realize that no, actually they just found a typo. And so this resubmission allows them to fix typos before the deadline. As you can see, the resubmissions are accepted when it's due. It tells you how many points it's worth. And here's when the assignment was last modified. Now, every so often, you'll notice that an assignment is modified after the open date, or sometimes after the due date. Now, there's a reason for that. Rubrics are a little bit tricky in Sakai. Now, I allow rubrics to be adjusted. So if the options are 10 points, 8 points, 5 points, and 2 points, but you kind of deserve 9 points, I set up rubrics to adjust for individual scores. And for whatever reason, sometimes that box gets unchecked. So if you see that it's been modified, that's probably what it's been modified from. Now we'll scroll down and take a look more at the instructions. You have all the information you need in order to submit the assignment, with the most important things bolded, such as the story limit, how many sources you need, you'll need contact information, a headline, etc. You also might have guidelines, such as these, to tell you a little bit more, to give you some advice on how to work with your assignment, which in this case is the student profile. You also have a PDF version of the assignment, which is basically just a copy of what's above. So if you want to save it, feel free to. Now, I also want to draw your attention to this model answer. This is important. This will give you sample student profiles, so you know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. Well, kind of. None of them are meant to be the perfect story, but they give you some idea of what's expected of you from the assignment. If you notice anything lacking from the story, think about what it is, why, and how you can fix that for your story. So there'll be a handful of stories, sample stories, for each assignment. Now I'll show you the grading rubric with more detail. Click here and you'll see again exactly what you're being graded on and how many points are possible. Starting with the deadline. Did you make the story by the deadline? Yep, excellent. You're going to get 5 points. Were you in time or in length? Now, with the advent of online journalism, story length isn't as important. But this course operates on the basic principle that we are in a print newspaper, which means there's only so much space for your story. Therefore, if you turn in a story that is too big or too little, it won't be what your editor asked for. And in this course, I'm your editor, and you want to make sure you do what I say. Did you submit it in 12-point font, Times New Roman or Arial? Did you submit it in a Microsoft Word document? I don't have Mac. I don't have access to Microsoft Pages. Please don't submit it in that because I can't open it. Again, all the information that you need, exactly what I'm asking you for, is here. The first part, going down to the tweet, these are just simple, did you do what I asked? And if you do, you're going to get a good chunk of points right out of the gate. Then there'll be some specific formats just for this story, such as news value, lead writing, ending, etc. Did you spell everything correctly, including people's names? Did you avoid using I in the story? And how was your AP style and grammar? With this information, you should be able to navigate Sakai pretty easily. Now we'll learn how to navigate Edpuzzle where your weekly lecture videos are. Go to edpuzzle.com, select Sign Up, and then I'm a student. Once you already have an account, go to Login and select I'm a student. Enter in your username and password. I have a special student account. Now, you'll select here, My Classes. Uh-oh, you need a class code. What you'll want to do is go back over here to the Sakai lesson, to week 1, and you'll find the class code. What you can also do is just click on this link, and it'll take you right to it. Join the class. Now you'll find it down here, and you'll see you'll have a due assignment, how many assignments are due, and how many are completed. This is a sample Edpuzzle video, which is due on January 7th, and you'll also see your upcoming assignments. If you scroll down, you can see the class orientation, Sakai, lectures, etc. Now, each week is divided into lectures and videos. They're numbered according to the week. So 1.1 lecture, that's me talking, is Journalism 101. Then we have a video. 1.2, Advice for Aspiring Journalists. Then the 2.1 lecture, that's for the next week, week 2, and so on. You can scroll down to see all the videos that you have. For example, in week 10, we have 2 videos. One is a lecture, Writing for Digital Publication Short Form, and then one is a video on the impact of Twitter in journalism. If you ever miss any, you can scroll down to archived videos, which will be at the bottom, and go back and watch them for the first time or again. So now we have a sample video just to show you what it's all about. Click on the video, and you'll see some video events. It'll tell you that there are 2 questions inserted into the lecture, a multiple choice and an open-ended. So we'll click here, either here or here, to play. Now, for a lot of videos that I didn't create myself, I insert notes at the beginning. Notes are meant to explain how the video connects to the week's readings or assignments. Every so often, you might find yourself stuck and unable to continue on in the lecture. That's probably because there's a note at the very beginning that you need to acknowledge. So read the lecture video note, which I just told you, and then click continue. Now you'll find questions inserted, such as this multiple choice question. What color are Ms. Gilbert's cats? Were you paying attention in the orientation? I'm cheating because I can see one off to the side. I think they're black. Next question. How many major writing assignments are in this course? This is an example of an open-ended question. There are 4. Awesome. Submit. Now, it'll also auto-grade what it can. Yes, I run a black cat household. Next question. This class has 4 major writing assignments. Now we'll continue on.
You can also turn on closed captions in any video where they are available by clicking on the CC button at the bottom of the screen. This allows you to read the words as they're being spoken, which can aid in your understanding of the material.
And that's how to navigate Edpuzzle for this class.